The present is theirs. The future, for which I really worked, is mine.
January 7th, 1943. Room 3327. The most dangerous man in the world is dead. They didn't come for his money. He had none. They didn't come for his fame. He was a joke. They came for the paper. We are told a simple story, a fairy tale of capitalism. Good ideas win. Bad ideas fail. But what happens when an idea is too good? What happens when a single invention threatens to turn the bedrock of the global economy into sand? You don't buy it. You don't steal it. You kill it. This is not a story about science. This is a forensic reconstruction of a murder. The victim was the future. 1899, the High Rockies. To understand the fall, we must understand the height. Nikola Tesla didn't come here for the view. He came for the air. Thin, dry, conductive. He wasn't building a lab. He was building a tuning fork for the planet. The dossiers call it the experimental station. The locals called it a nightmare. When Tesla threw the switch, the thunder didn't come from the sky. It came from the floor. Pedestrians miles away felt sparks jump from their heels to the sidewalk. Water pipes became electrified. The air smelled of sulfur and ozone. He wasn't just making electricity, he was warping the atmosphere. But the light show was a distraction. Tesla had discovered a heresy. The establishment believed radio waves were like light, straight lines that would vanish into space. Tesla disagreed. He believed the Earth was a container, a hollow rubber ball filled with fluid. If you struck it hard enough and at the right rhythm, the wave wouldn't vanish, it would return. Standing waves, infinite resonance. But in the silence of the mountains, Tesla heard something else. July 3rd, 1899, his receiver clicked. 1, 2, 3. Not static, not nature, arithmetic. He thought he was speaking to Mars. He was wrong, but the God complex had set in. He believed he was the Messiah of energy. And when a man believes he is a god, he forgets to check the contract. He was the Jupiter of Wall Street. John Pierpont Morgan didn't just own the bank, he owned the panic. He saved the U.S. Treasury twice, not out of patriotism, but because he owned the country it printed money for. Morgan had a philosophy, one word, Morganization. Competition is a sin. Competition is waste. Why have two railroads fighting for passengers when you can own both and set the price? He wanted order. He wanted control. And most of all, he wanted a monopoly on the invisible. March 1901, the Faustian bargain. Tesla needed money. Morgan needed a hedge against the future. Tesla pitched a world system of radio, a way to send stock quotes to ships in the Atlantic. Practical, profitable, simple. Morgan nodded. $150,000. That was the price of Tesla's soul. Morgan took 51%, the controlling interest. Tesla signed. He thought he was tricking the banker. He thought, I'll take his money for the radio, but I'll build the power plant. He didn't realize you don't trick the house.
Wardenclyffe.
To the public, it was a radio tower. To Tesla, it was a machine. But the real secret wasn't the tower, it was what lay beneath. He wasn't building an antenna, he was building a plunger, a device to grip the Earth's crust and shake it until the whole planet rang like a bell. Oil, coal, batteries. If this machine worked, they would all become obsolete overnight. But time was running out. While Tesla was building a cathedral, Marconi built a kite. December 12, 1901. The letter S. 3 dots across the ocean. Marconi proved you didn't need to shake the earth. You just needed to bounce a wave off the sky. It was a catastrophe. Marconi's system was cheap, dirty, but it worked. Tesla's system was expensive, perfect, and unfinished. Panic set in. Inflation had doubled the cost of materials. The $150,000 was gone. Tesla had to go back to the well. He had to go back to Morgan. Tesla breaks. He tells Morgan the truth. "Mr. Morgan, I am not just building a radio. I can transmit power, wireless power, to anywhere on Earth. No wires, no fuel, free energy for the entire industrial world." Tesla waits for applause. He expects the banker to see the vision. Morgan didn't hear progress. He heard theft. Morgan owned the copper mines. He owned the rubber for the insulation. He owned the General Electric utility grid. If power is wireless, who buys the wire? If power is everywhere, where do you put the meter? He didn't scream. He didn't fight. He just closed the checkbook. It was a silent assassination. Morgan spread the word on Wall Street. Tesla is a bad risk. In the tight circles of the Gilded Age, that was a death sentence. No other investor would touch him. July 4th, 1917. They didn't dismantle it with care. They blew it up for scrap metal. The Smiley Steel Company. They paid $1,750 for the metal. Morgan's investment returned as dust. The dream didn't die because it defied physics. It died because it defied economics. Tesla wanted to give the world wings. Morgan wanted to sell it a ladder. The world moved on. The Jazz Age, the Great Depression, the war. Tesla stayed behind. He retreated into the sanctuary of his own mind, a mind that was breaking. He developed a terror of germs, a hatred of pearls, an obsession with the number 3. He traded the company of billionaires for the company of birds. He told his biographer, "I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman, and she loved me." When she died, he said a light went out of his eyes more brilliant than any machine he ever built. The Promethean fire, extinguished by a bird. When Tesla died, the government didn't send a poet. They sent an engineer, Dr. John G. Trump. His job was to sift through the wreckage of a genius to find a weapon. He read the diaries, he studied the diagrams, and he wrote the final epitaph of Nikola Tesla. Speculative, philosophical, no sound principles. They didn't find a superweapon. They found the scribblings of a man who had outlived his own relevance. Or perhaps that is simply what they wanted us to believe. We love the Tesla story because we want to believe in the victim. We want to believe that the evil banker crushed the saintly inventor. But the truth is colder. Tesla was not a victim of a conspiracy. He was a casualty of reality. The lesson is this: talent is not leverage. You can have the keys to the universe in your pocket. You can understand the frequency of the stars. But if you cannot understand the frequency of human nature, you will lose. Morgan understood that men are driven by profit, fear, and control. Tesla believed men were driven by light. We live in Morgan's world, a world of meters, a world of wires, a world where every electron has a price tag. Tesla gave us the alternating current that powers this screen, but he died waiting for a future that we were not ready to pay for. Don't just be the architect of the machine, be the architect of the deal. Because the truth doesn't set you free, power does.